Hey, good evening, everybody, and welcome to a special edition of Director's Cut. I'm your host, Michael Rieger, and tonight I am excited. And here's why, because we're coming at you live from Hofstra University, Studio A. This evening, we'll be showcasing clips of the films submitted to both the HFC Film Festival and the School of Communication Film Festival. So many films, so little time. It's going to be like speed dating tonight. And I'm looking for group play. But first, before anything, we're going to talk to the co-presidents of Hofstra Filmmakers Club, Kyle Millardo and Adrian Saba. Whoa! You guys came on here pretty quick. How you guys doing?
Good, how are you?
Good, good. Thank you, thank you. So, guys, HFC, what's it like to be presidents? You all right?
I'll take that
whoa,
one.
whoa, whoa. Hey, what are you doing?
I'm just going back to first position.
First position?
Yeah.
What is this, football?
No, Steve told me to be like this.
Who's Steve?
The
Okay,
producer.
anyway. HFC, what's it all about? When did it start?
It's a film club. It started in 2001, right?
So it's a baby.
It's a baby. Yeah. It's about 8 years old. It started with Steven Zapellas, Brian Amiot, and Angel Acevedo. There were 3 young filmmakers who wanted to make movies, and then the club kept expanding until now we have like, how many members?
We have like 200 registered members, but it ranges from about, I'd say 70 to 90 active.
Yeah. That is fantastic. What kind of improvements have you seen since you have become presidents of the club?
Well, besides the growth in members, we've also gotten equipment. We have now our own camera and
we have 2 cameras.
2 cameras, 2 lighting kits, sound equipment, all that kind of stuff.
Oh, great.
And our festival is shown in HD with awesome sound system.
Is this the first HFC festival to be shown in HD?
No.
We've been doing it for
Past, I don't know, 3?
I think about 3 festivals, maybe 4.
Excellent. HD is still a rarity in most college campuses, so the fact that it's happening here at Hofstra University is fantastic. You guys looking forward to it this year?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Very excited.
That is great. Now I hear you guys. Well, I've seen this HFC commercial that's been playing all year. It is hilarious. Did you guys create the concept for that?
Yeah.
The members kind of all came up with it together. The first meeting, we were just pitching ideas and kind of sculpted it from there. It was pretty cool.
Well, when we come right back, we are going to take a look. We're going to talk a little bit more about HFC, but first let's take a look at that commercial.
Man, this sucks. We're never gonna get any customers.
Yeah, if only we had like a really hot girl to attract people.
Hey, boys. I didn't dream that up.
Don't look at me, man.
Maybe.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the season finale of Director's Cut. Tonight we are here with HFC co-presidents Adrian Saba and Kyle Millardo. You guys, what can we expect to see at the HFC Festival this semester?
9 movies, bunch of awards.
Our first HFC music video. So
excellent.
Cool.
Oh, and the best, well, not the best, but a very interesting thing, very cool thing, the Audience Choice Award.
Oh, yeah.
Audience Choice Award. Is that a new award?
Yeah, brand new this year, yeah.
Brand new this year.
Yeah.
What other awards do you guys offer?
Best director, best actor, best actress,
Best
editing.
editor, sound design.
Okay.
Cinematography, a bunch.
So you have a wide variety of awards, a lot of chances to win great recognition right there. What motivates your filmmakers to put these films into the festival? I assume not all of them make it into the festival.
All of them.
No,
They all make it into the festival.
Make it into the festival. I mean, I think it's just their love for film in general that allows them to do it. And yeah, if you make a film, it gets shown to the whole audience, large.
So the passion is already there. There is no bad film.
Yes.
Right,
bad film.
right.
No
No
bad
film.
No,
The festival is going to be full of excellent films.
Yeah, no, it is.
And we also are looking forward to the School of Communication Film Festival, which I believe some of your colleagues produced films for that. What's the difference between the two festivals? What can we look forward to in the School of Com Film Festival?
School of Com Film Festival is 2 days. Takes over place 2 days. There's more movies in it. It has intermediate film, documentaries, experimental, senior film projects.
All the films done for classes,
class, exactly.
and instead of the film club, which is just the film club members. So.
Yeah,
Okay, great. Same amount of submissions, more or less?
more, much
Yeah,
more.
there's a lot more for the Department of Film Festival.
All right, fantastic. Well, guys, thank you for coming on to the season finale of Director's Cut, and thank you for telling us a little bit about HFC. We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we return, we will talk to our first director of the evening, Thomas McCauley. Director's Cut, we'll be right back. Welcome back to Director's Cut. If you're just tuning in this evening, I'm your host, Michael Rieger. If you're joining us this evening, again, this is a special one-hour edition showcasing films from both the HFC Film Festival and the School of Communication Film Festival. And our first director tonight is a guy named Thomas McCauley. He's a great guy. He's a sophomore studying TV, video, and business here at Hofstra. Let's take a look at his entry into the HFC Film Festival. His title is Snuff.
Those of you just tuning in, a new video of a man committing 3 murders has just shown up. This snuff film was made with the intention of entertainment to be shown on the black market. The star of the film, shown here, is credited as the homeless hacker, but has been identified by the police as Mark Lewis. If you have any information or knowledge as to the whereabouts of this man, you are to contact the police immediately. Back to you, Jim.
Did you see that? Did you see that?
Yeah,
Yeah? What, that's it?
it's in the newspapers too.
Fantastic, man. What the are we gonna do? Man, you told me you only made a few copies. How the did it get out like this?
I don't know. People made copies, internet. I really don't know.
Man, you told me you knew what you were doing.
I've done this a dozen times. It's just...
It's just what? It's just what?
We did a really good job on this one. A really, really good job. It was like the Citizen Kane of snuff.
Welcome back to Director's Cut. We just watched a clip of Thomas McCauley's film, Snuff. Thomas, thank you for being on the show this evening.
Of course.
I'm intrigued by this film for a couple of reasons. First, the look of it. It has a very vintage, I don't know, grainy type of look. Is that what kind of style are you going for here?
Well, it was somewhat intentional and somewhat out of necessity. We actually shot the whole thing on a completely consumer camera. Like it was a high definition camera, but it's a camera geared completely towards consumers. And so my intention was to create a professional look out of a completely consumer set of equipment. And so that entailed a lot of color correction, a whole lot of post-processing. Yeah, and so that's what I came out with.
It's very cool.
Thank you.
Does it propel the theme of your movie at all?
I think it does. It's supposed to have sort of like a vintage feel to it, but it's not set in the past. It's sort of like it's supposed to be more of a character study than like a look at, like the story is very important, but what's more important to me is the character development and like the interplay between the two characters.
Mm-hmm. Now the room that they were in, it looked like a hotel room?
Yeah, it was actually a kind of shady hotel room, which we sort of had to shoot guerrilla style. They had no idea we were shooting a movie there because we were informed that we'd have to pay extra if we were doing that. So we actually went down there and just told them we were renting a room for the day. We had just gotten in from JFK, and just sort of went with it. There was a lot of yelling and screaming going on, and luckily police weren't called.
I think that most places are used to that sort of thing.
Yeah, especially sketchy hotels,
the yelling and the screaming.
There was actually another room that was yelling next to us, so we assumed we were okay because I think they were actually had some sort of like murder scene going on.
They might have been shooting a film also.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or shooting something, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, I really like the location, and I'm sure them being in a confined space like a hotel room, it really leads them to just focus on the character.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very intimate space, which made the whole shoot for me a very intimate experience. It was actually, there were approximately like 4 people on the set the entire time. Like the entire crew of this movie totaled probably 5 people, and one of them was in and out. So it was basically me, an assistant director / producer, and the 2 actors. So it was a really intimate experience for the whole thing.
Very intimate guerrilla film experience. Very interesting. I'm intrigued. We're going to take a quick commercial break, but when we come back, we're going to talk with our next HFC Film Fest participant, Matt Van Daneker. But for now, let's take a look at what it takes to be a filmmaker. Director's Cut, we'll be right back.
Goes into filmmaking?
It takes a lot of organization.
A lot of hard work and dedication. Patience.
To be a filmmaker, it takes a lot of love and passion.
It's a really big collaborative effort.
A lot of serious dedication.
It takes people who love film.
I think it takes a lot of motivation and creativity.
And you have to get really used to not sleeping much.
It incorporates the visual, sound, image, dialogue, drama.
Persistence, and just you have to know your goals.
It's blood and sweat and tears, and in the case of filmmaking, money. It takes a lot of ideas and a lot of dedication and a lot of collaboration and teamwork to really like pull something together.
A lot of time. You have to make your script, you have to raise money.
All it really takes is a story, and everything else is just technical.
Welcome back to Director's Cut, everybody. I'm your host, Michael Rieger. If you're just joining us, this is the special 1-hour edition showcasing films for both the HFC Festival and the upcoming School of Communications Film Festival. We're speeding right along here with our second director, Matt Van Daneker. He's a junior video, television, and film major. Let's take a look at his film Dance Contre l'Océan. Welcome back to Director's Cut, everybody. We're here with Matt Van Daniker, and we just watched his film Danse contre l'Océan.
Yes.
Matt, thank you for joining us on this special 1-hour edition of Director's Cut.
Absolutely, thank you.
Now, about your film, is it a foreign film?
No, it's not.
It sounds foreign.
It sounds foreign. It's French. I actually don't even really know how to pronounce it.
Really?
No. We kind of have this running joke among our friends that we love like all our films to be French. Like I don't know if that makes it like artsy to us. So
it does to me right off the bat.
But like we really felt like that this production kind of it kind of just titling that just adds a little something extra to it.
Sure. Talk to us about the film.
Okay. Well, I actually am not the sole director. I co-directed it also with my good friend Colin Miller, who will be on later to talk about his film Bedroom Dancing. It started out as a project. The music actually came first, and our friend Mitch McCarthy composed the music. We've been working with him since freshman year. Every project we have, we want him to score because he's just absolutely incredible. And he wanted us to put a video to his song, and we thought it'd be a perfect opportunity to do this through HFC and put a music video into the festival because they've never had a music video before. So we thought it was a great opportunity to do that.
Do you have a storyline for this music video?
Yes, it basically revolves around the young girl you just saw. She goes into her grandmother's garage, who has recently passed away, and finds her ballet slippers, and basically you get the impression that her grandmother's the one that taught her ballet, and she wants to give the ballet slippers and her grandmother like one final dance across the ocean.
Now here's what I'd like to know. Is it more or less difficult to create a film using music as opposed to dialogue?
Well, it really depends on the, it depends. I mean, obviously it requires a little bit more from the actor because you're not, you don't have the help of a writer, through getting dialogue across. So the acting, I think it requires a little bit more in that sense. In the editing sense, I find it a lot easier because you're not, worrying about embedding different dialogues over. You're just you have one track that you're going with, and it, editing becomes the process. You're editing to the beat of the music, which I think I really enjoy doing more than just straight films.
Well, Matt, thank you very much. Congratulations on being the first music video film submission to the HFC Festival.
Thank you very much.
Look forward to seeing it.
Thanks.
We're going to take another quick break, but when we come back, there are two directors. We're two directors down, but stay tuned because we have a lot more coming up. Next, we'll have Mr. John Lauder talking about his jazzy Holly Jolly Jib Jive. Director's Cut, we'll be right back.
I'm supposed to say that the HFC is awesome.
Supersize this.
HFC, do not with us.
Welcome back to Director's Cut. I'm your host, Michael Rieger. This is the special 1-hour edition showcasing films from both the HFC Festival and the School of Communications Film Festival. Our next director here with us tonight is John Lauder. He brings with us a film named Holly Jolly Jib Jive. Very interesting film. Let's have a look.
Seems your eyes are pretty glazed.
Thank you. I seem to be in quite a haze.
You high?
Only as high as a kite can fly.
That's pretty high.
I guess it is.
What airline you flying on?
Well, I don't know. What's the name of your airline, hon?
Welcome back to Director's Cut, everybody. We're here with Mr. John Lauder. Mr. Lauder, I know you of only Sports Beat fame. I did not know you were a junior film major as well.
Yeah, most of the stuff I've done is behind the scenes. I've edited a bunch of films for HFC. I've done some producing and some other things, PAing as well. This is the first time I've actually directed a film for HFC.
How was the experience working with HFC?
Well, it was intense because we had to shoot that entire film in a day. We only had 7 hours. And my style is pretty good for this because I like to move through things pretty quickly. But I mean, it was definitely a very stressful time for me to get it done in 7 hours. But I had a great crew, a small crew, but a great crew, worked very well with me, and I think the final product turned out very well.
Now, from the promo that you have, it seems like a perfect homage to the film noir genre. Is this anything what you're going for?
Absolutely. I mean, early in the process, me and my cinematographer Adrian Saba and the gaffer Colin Millardo, we talked a lot. I mean, I trust them both very much. I've worked with them many times before, and we talked about whether we do the film in color or do it in black and white. And we decided that black and white would be the best decision for it. It's kind of a noir jazz type thing. And you know that the lighting that they did and the shots that they put together are beautiful, and I think that it really just brings that noir theme out even more.
Holly Jolly Jib Jive. It's a hilarious name. Is the film quirky? Is it funny?
The writer of the film is not myself. Actually, Nick Weingartner wrote the film. It's only 4.5 pages, and it's all about the dialogue. It's all about kind of a poem, kind of a song between the two main characters. And Holly Jolly Jib Jive just goes along with the theme. It's in a classroom. There's a teacher that's giving out a ridiculous lecture. So it all kind of comes together as almost a play on words and a play on how the relationship between people in a certain situation.
So it seems like a combination of a comedic writer with a film noir, more dramatic type of director.
Right.
How was it working with those two different personalities?
Well, we did plenty of practices, rehearsals, myself with the actors, Tyler Costigan and Katie Patterson, who did an absolutely excellent job of really portraying the role, because it's also about a relationship between two people and two young people, and they did a great job bringing that out, and they really got into kind of the sing-song poetry of what the film's supposed to be about.
Great, great. Did they understand the style you were going for? Like, obviously, you know, they don't know it's how a black and white film will look until they see the final product. Did you have any trouble sort of, you know, feeding them
No,
there?
not at all. Both of them are experienced. They've done work before. They're both very excellent. They were dressed the part, and they just did a good job connecting with each other right away. We had 2 or 3 rehearsals before we actually filmed on set, and they connected right away, so there really wasn't too much trouble.
Well, Holly Jolly Jib Jive looks like a very snazzy film, if I do say so myself, Mr. Lauder. We're going to take a quick commercial break, but when we return, we have our next director, Colin Miller. Director's Cut. We'll be right back.
She knows exactly what her principles are. She knows exactly what she wants to say, when she wants to say it.
I knew from the very moment I laid my eyes on her that I just had to have her.
She's got the most gorgeous green eyes I think I've ever seen in my entire life.
Oh God, I don't know. Does everyone have to answer this?
Welcome back to Director's Cut, everybody. I'm your host, Michael Rieger. This is the special 1-hour edition showcasing films from both the HFC Film Festival and also the upcoming School of Communications Film Festival. Be sure to check out both of them. We're just speeding along right here. I told you it'd be like a speed dating service. Our next director is Colin Miller. He is a TV, video, and film major. Let's take a look at his film, Bedroom Dancing.
I'm not kidding, Austin. I've got to be to school in 20 minutes.
Fuck, Kristen. Do you know how bad it looks when you're late?
I'm here with Mr. Colin Miller. We just watched a little clip from his upcoming film, Bedroom Dancing. A little confused, not gonna lie.
Fair.
What are we going for here? What's this film about?
It's a dark story about a girl. She's, I think, 16, and she has a very sexual relationship with a 28-year-old guy, and the mom finds out.
Was that them? Was that the 28-year-old?
Yes, that's the my two lead actors.
Now, the mom finds out.
And she's cranky about it.
Does she join them?
She doesn't like it.
I don't know.
No, Kathy was beautiful, but this wasn't a snuff film.
Not to be confused with the earlier film we
Yes.
discussed, Snuff. How was it? So, how was it working with these actors for this film? We're dealing with a very serious situation. How is it to direct them and to get them to emote?
I prepped them ahead of time during auditions that this was going to be a hard thing to pull off. Particularly for Courtney and Benjamin, my two leads, who you just saw, they knew ahead of time that this was going to be kind of an uncomfortable role. And the mother, played by Kathy Carlson, has to get even more upset than you ever see the two of them. So all actors were prepared for it. There is one like partial nude scene that I remember having. It was a big deal, you know, like it was very uncomfortable for everybody. But I think it turned out great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. From what we saw in the clip, very little dialogue, propelled by body language. Is this the majority of the film?
No. That's the opening scene, and it's quite slower than the rest of the film. Everything else is actually primarily dialogue based, I would think.
So you just threw that in there to throw me off. is what you did.
Yeah, that's not even from my movie.
You are sly, Mr. Miller. You are very sly. Well, I look forward to seeing it in its entirety and see how good-looking that mom is.
Yeah.
We're going to take a quick break. Calm down, everybody. We're at the halfway point. Boy, time flies. When we return, we will talk to our first set of co-directors. That's right. Next is David and Francisco Salazar with their movie, Cures. Director's Cut will return shortly.
I'm Chris Mawson reporting here with Bergen Spurlock, who just talked to Hofstra. Bergen Spurlock, what do you think about Thursday Night Live?
I love Saturday Night Live. It's one of my favorite shows.
No. It's Thursday Night Live.
What the is that?
Welcome back to Director's Cut, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Michael Rieger. This is the special one-hour edition showcasing films from both the HFC Film Festival and the School of Communications Film Festival. Our next directors are David and Francisco Salazar. Now, David is a junior studying film production and studies. Francisco is a sophomore also studying film production and studies. Let's take a look at their film, Cures.
You always this arrogant? You really enjoy hurting people, don't you? It's a rhetorical question, isn't it? It's stupid of me to ask someone like you if he enjoys hurting people.
There you go again. Judging me for something you know nothing about.
Okay. So I guess you're in here by accident then, right?
What if it was? What if I told you the entire story, Doctor? Is that going to change the preconceived notion you had of me before you walked into the door? Are you really capable of listening to an accusation regardless of what everyone else has told you?
Are you capable of getting rid of your preconceived notions about me? Get out.
Get the f*** out!
Is everything okay, Doctor? I don't mind teaching him respect.
Now, will you please leave us?
Oh man, I want to see what happens. We're here with David and Francisco Salazar. This is their movie, Cures. Is this the first time that you two have co-directed a movie together?
I don't think so. No. I don't really think so.
you know, there's the assignments that we have in class. We've worked on every single one together. I guess this is our first HFC film co-directing together.
So you guys have no problems working with each other?
No.
Does one of you focus on one element of directing more than the other? How do you share the role?
Well, I tend to look more into the visual aspect of it, and he's more into the how to edit everything together. But we kind of complement one another.
Mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily think that one of us takes precedent over the other in any particular area.
Right. You're both very vital to the final product.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Tell us about this movie. Was this movie written by either of you?
It was written by both of us, actually.
Co-written, all right.
Yeah, it was more of an idea of him. We had another screenplay that we were about to do, but we decided to take something more experimental and
simpler.
Yeah, more simple.
Now, you're saying more experimental is actually less difficult?
I don't know how to answer that question.
Ooh, ha-ha! Score one for the host. You guys don't have to answer if you don't want to, but I just think sometimes to have experimental elements in a film needs more thought. There's definitely more creativity in a sense involved. Was that something that you guys? What were some elements that you just ran with for this film?
Well, we wanted it to maintain it very, like I said, simpler, so we could give the actors the space that they needed to act, and I guess experimental speak would be more in terms of the visuals. For us personally, I don't think it was experimental in filmmaking. It was just experimental for the two of us.
Okay, so you tried different things. You gave the your actors much more freedom to explore their roles themselves, than rather have you say you have to say this, you have to do this exactly like this.
Well, we rehearsed.
We rehearsed. With
Sure,
our
yeah,
actors,
there's rehearsals, yeah.
We made sure that they felt the characters, they got into the characters.
And that way also give them the freedom later on to just take it further. And believe me, they took it a lot further than when we had rehearsed it with them. And, you know, it was a good result with them.
So the outcome even exceeded your expectations?
Yes.
In terms of acting, definitely.
Yes.
That's fantastic. Well, it looks like a very dramatic movie, and I can't wait to see it in the festival. Thanks for coming on the show, guys.
Thank you.
It is time for yet another commercial break, ladies and gentlemen. But when we come back, we'll be talking with Mr. Matt Colby, and he'll run us through a 7-step program to get that dream girl. You'll see what I mean. But for now, let's take a look at what it takes to be a filmmaker. Director's Cut. We'll be right back.
I chose film because the possibilities are endless. There's nothing you can or can't do.
Because movies matter, and it's a great medium to get a message to the world.
I chose film because I always wanted to get my stories out there, and I work better in a visual medium.
It's a medium that involves all the other art forms, music, the visual, sound, everything all encompassed into one. And I thought that was really intriguing, and it's also a medium that can reach a lot of people, and I think we can make a big impact on people's lives through it.
The reason I wanted to study film is because, you know, when you go to the movies, after the credits roll and everything, you sit there and you're sucked into this world that's been created for you.
Film is something that just made sense for me. As a kid, I was always really passionate about it, and it was something that I always really just loved, and I feel that it's the best way to express myself, and it's the only thing I really see myself doing.
I chose to make film because you get to create like a whole world, and you know, anytime you leave a theater, it can be a life-changing experience, and it's something that's always positive.
Filmmaking has this amazing power to just like change the opinion of an entire nation, which you see with things like Jaws and other great films in history, and I just like being a part of that process.
I chose film because I found it challenging, and I like to learn new things like the technology that comes behind it, but also flex my artistic muscles too.
I chose film because when I was really young, my dad told me, no matter what, make sure the job that you're doing is something you love, and then it won't be a job, it'll just be a passion.
It's just such an experience, and I mean, you know, we're the makers of dreams and the forgers of pop culture here.
Well, welcome back to Director's Cut. I'm your host, Michael Rieger. If you're just joining us, this is the final episode of the season, and you're about 40 minutes late. To celebrate, we have here the mother of all shows, a special one-hour edition showcasing films from both the HFC Festival and the School of Communications Film Festival. Our next director is Mr. Matt Colby. He's a sophomore going for a TV and film BS. Let's take a look at his film, Step 7.
Step 2. Isolate the target. Never try to break in and outflirt another guy. You just look like an asshole and a loser. The trick is to hit hard and from the shadows. A little Everclear in the jungle juice will turn anyone into an unrepentant wad for the night. Step 2 complete. Now I move on to Step 3, making contact. Now I have a distinct advantage in Step 3, a drunken asshole to make me look good by comparison. Hey, what's the deal with that?
I don't know. It was like he was okay one minute, and the next he's falling all over himself.
He's gonna look up for that jungle juice.
Yeah.
I'm Aaron, by the way.
Anita. So, do you go here? Really? You had him for Psych too?
Can I get you another drink?
Oh my god, we live on the same floor.
That's crazy. I've never seen you before.
It was good meeting you, Aaron. I'll see you around.
We just took a look at Matt Colby's film, Step 7, a little snippet of it. Matt, this is a romantic comedy, one of the first ones we've seen this evening.
Yeah.
Now, the romantic comedy has been done so many times before, over and over and over again, and a lot of times it's mediocre at best. This looks very unique, and I'm very intrigued by it, and it's hilarious. What sort of elements have you incorporated to freshen the genre?
Well, that's the fun thing about the genre of romantic comedy is you don't really need to freshen it that much because everybody's so used to it. You do something even slightly different, people get really shocked.
That's true, that's true.
So I wouldn't say it's less work, it's just, I think it's fun and you can just change a little thing, and then I really love the genre because it's just fun to get to make something that you watch and enjoy all the time.
Sure, and I see you have some sort of split screens, some graphics in there that liven up the movie. What about the voice of your character? Is the entire film narrated?
Yes, it is narrated. It's kind of, there's parts which are completely internal, and it even gets a bit abstract at points. I mean, it's not here, but the first scene takes place completely within the main character's mind. So
what we saw is a dream sequence, almost.
Not what we saw. The first scene is in his mind. That was real.
Oh, okay, okay.
But it is like heavily edited. There's a lot of effects, and I think you need to keep it moving, and I think that can happen a lot in movies. I think sometimes it gets way too slow, and sure, it looks pretty, but it's not that interesting all the time.
Well, what sort of steps did you take to make the film look pretty?
Well, a lot of making it look pretty. Well, I can thank my crew for that. I mean, I had a specific vision for it, but sometimes I just needed a little bit of help translating it. I'm still a sophomore here. I've worked a lot with film, but sometimes, you know, I just needed outside perspective on it, and I really like doing everything as a collaborative effort, bringing everybody in, and just, I love getting everybody's input and kind of seeing what comes out of the stew.
Sure. So a lot of unique things there, especially the fact that the scene that we just saw looked like almost like a Western. Like the lighting was very unlike that of a romantic comedy. Do you have anything to say about that?
I mean, a lot of the lighting kind of just went scene by scene, saw what looked good, created a different feel here and there, and is just kind of doing the best to make everything mesh together.
Mr. Colby, great work. I can't wait to see Step 7 at the HFC Festival. We're going to take yet another quick break, but when we return, we will take a look at director Colin Cornfiend's film. Stay right here. Don't move. Director's Cut. We'll be right back.
Hydra! And this is they coming here! And the mama said, put it down there! Just the way come over here! And they're gonna look at them pumping down. Yeah, looking good in there. What I got right here for you is chicada leafy. Somebody said, oh yes, chicada leafy. And what's this thing? And you want to say HDBI. And you want to get we going over here like this. And then we're just going to be on this right there. We're going to wrapping it like this, like that. Like I said that. And then we're going to miss it and go. Because they said check out the things out. And then they live your soul and Hydra. We're going to say, come on in and say,
Welcome back to Director's Cut. I'm your host, Michael Rieger. If you're just joining us, this is the 1-hour special edition of the show showcasing films from both the HFC Film Festival and the School of Communications Film Festival. Our next director is Colin Kornfeind. He's a film studies production major. Let's take a look at his film, Silk Street.
Y'all know what I got here?
It's a box, Coach.
Very good, Louis. Your mama must really, really be proud. She's something, all right.
Yeah, she is.
I figured since this is our second season together in the Catholic League, it's time we started looking more like a team.
Cool. Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, yes. New jerseys, New Jersey. Thanks, Coach. Thanks, Coach.
Now listen, guys, I know that tomorrow's the last day of junior high before the break. You guys worked hard this season, so I want you to show off your shirts tomorrow. You know, make everybody jealous. Matter of fact, I don't want anyone not wearing them tomorrow.
Thanks, Coach. Thanks, Coach Angel.
You're welcome, Christopher. You guys earned it. Now bring it in. All right, so we all know, tomorrow, same time, same place. And I don't want anybody worrying about getting time on the court. You're all going to get a chance to play. So we're going to win tomorrow or what?
Yeah!
Are we going to win tomorrow or what?
Yeah!
1, 2, 3, Silk Street!
That was a look at Colin Kornfeind's movie, Silk Street Gang. I'm sorry I mistitled the film earlier today.
That's okay.
It's also one of the first submissions to the Hofstra School of Communications Film Festival that we'll be talking about this evening. Tell us a little bit about the film.
Well, the film is based on a true story. It's actually taken like a bit of a chapter from my childhood. It's about a young white boy who joins a all African-American teenage basketball team in his neighborhood. And he has really big hoop dreams about being the next Michael Jordan, except he sucks at basketball. So, and his other teammates try to get him kicked off the team.
Is there a certain character that you sort of, you know,
identify with
in this film?
Well, you can probably pick him out from the clip that we saw. He was the young white one then. Yeah.
Touche.
Yeah.
Touche.
So.
Oh man. Okay.
I was the odd man out. Yeah. So.
What was it like making a film based so much off of personal experience? Was it easy for you to translate the story to your crew, to your actors? You're working with children.
Yeah, no, it was difficult on a lot of fronts, but I think the hardest part was casting. I think was just because I shot it all back in my hometown in Allentown, Pennsylvania, and I literally packed up the entire senior film class and took them down. And we all stayed in my basement for 5 days to try and get the thing made. So it was really great. We had a really family-oriented feel. Everybody's living in one space, and then the actors were great, and relaying this personal story was a lot of fun to do.
That's great. It's almost like reliving your childhood, right?
Yeah, shockingly so. It was really good reliving getting kicked off of my neighborhood team for 5 days.
So a painful experience, but does this movie have a happy ending?
I don't know. You have to come and see it at the festival and find out.
Oh, okay, okay. What other what sort of style of filmmaking were you going for?
Well, I think all of my movies are very much influenced by the French New Wave, and I was trying to do like very realistic and almost humdrum kind of city life because that's what I was living in and that's what I tried to convey. So I think that was probably my biggest influence in making this.
Did you have a big crew?
No, I had, 9 people, and Ben Myers, who we're going to see a little bit later. He was responsible for all the focus marks, so he's here. I just have to say thanks.
So
yeah, it was.
So everything's in focus, right?
Everything's so in focus.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's
Thanks, Ben.
Thank
So,
you,
yeah.
Mr. Myers.
So yeah, no, I had a great tight-knit crew, and like I said, living in one space and getting woken up at 6:45 in the morning every day for 5 days was a lot of fun.
How was it for the kids to do that?
Oh, they hated it.
Yeah.
But they got to take off of school, so they had a lot of fun too.
That
Yeah.
is awesome.
Yeah.
You're a good director.
I know, I tried.
Well, look forward to seeing the rest of your film, and hopefully it does have a happy ending.
Oh.
We will see. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We only have 2 directors left on our show, and the movies are only getting better. When we return, we'll take a look at our second School of Comm Festival entry, the Max Kolb Scholarship winner, Ben Myers. Director's Cut. We'll be right back.
These rats were playing in the woods. Well, that's a matches and that's no good. Listen to smoke before you give it a try. Only you. Don't play with matches. Don't play with fire. Cause there's nothing very funny about nothing very nice. Holy smile. So if a gorgeous force is what you desire, don't play with matches. Don't play with fire.
Only you can prevent forest fires.
Fire.
Welcome back to Director's Cut. I'm your host, Michael Rieger. If you're just joining us, why are you so late? This was a 1-hour special. It started almost an hour ago. All right, we'll let you slide. Today, we're showcasing films from both the HFC Film Festival and the School of Comm Film Festival as well. Our next director is Mr. Ben Myers. He is a senior going for a television, video, and film BS. Let's take a look at a clip from his film, Sonata.
Most men go about their day. They shut out the noise and confusion in their lives. Most can, but not me. Most people, if they listen close enough, can feel the music and the beauty in the world. Most can, but not me. People can amplify the good and sift through the bad, but I can't because I can't because
Very interesting. This is Sonata by director Ben Myers. Ben, walk us through what we just saw.
Okay, well, that's the first song in the film. There are 3 complete musical numbers. The film's about 20 minutes long. And that first song is basically a nightmare the main character Lucas has, where he's describing his predicament, which is that unlike most people who can carry out a conversation and hear what the other person's talking about, or listen to enjoy music, or tune down the white noise in their life, he hears noise and sound constantly. The playing of a violin would sound like cars honking or whatnot like that, and he just hears noise all the time.
This is very interesting. I'm really curious to know, because we saw a clip of one earlier this evening, what makes a musical different than a music video?
That's a good question. I think the principal difference is that a musical uses music to drive forward the message of the film, which does not necessarily mean that the music has to drive forward the plot, but that they're connected structurally and in an integral way to what the film is trying to communicate.
Did you write the music for this film?
I did not write the music. I wrote the lyrics. The composer of the music, his name is Matthew Ferry. Very talented guy. He is an alumnus here from Hofstra, graduated about 2 years ago. He currently works for Hofstra for the dance department. He writes music for them as well as for Princeton University. And he writes music for them and plays for the dance department there as well.
When I watch the clip we just saw was just a perfect coordination of acting and timing, and it seems to me that a musical really tests a director's skills. Did you feel challenged? I'm sure that's pretty much a rhetorical question.
The challenge with this is because it's a musical, there are so many production elements that had to be done far in advance. Because these people are singing and they can't just show up the day of and learn their lines, as we have problems with being a student's time is of the essence. But there's dancing in the musical and there's singing, and the singing had to be recorded in advance, the music had to be written in advance, so a lot of preparation and timing, as well as a set was built for the film, a whole three-dimensional set was built right here in Studio A. So there was a lot of preparation that was needed for this film.
Wow, well, I'm very impressed with the coordination, and I'm sure your directing was also well planned. Your shots that was all you, right?
Yeah. I had a fantastic DP in Nick Richter, who he gave me some beautiful stuff, as well as was an excellent go-to person. And I'm like, Jesus, I don't know how to do this. What am I going here to? I can look to Nick, and he's going to have ideas for a shot or how to execute something. So I was really fortunate to have hardworking people as well as people that I could go to for creative input.
That's fantastic. Very original piece. I can't wait to see it in the festival. Well, everyone, this is the last commercial break of the evening, and when we come back, we will be talking to our final director of the evening, also a winner of the Max Kolb Scholarship for this year, that is, Mr. Zach Graber. He'll take us on one heck of an adventure, all based on a Santa hat. Director's Cut, we'll be right back.
Giant cheese wheels, Himalayan salt bricks, and entertaining chefs could be a part of your next cooking experience. With the homegrown style of Robin and the culinary expertise of Jim, this couple of chefs will make cooking in your kitchen the best thing you have done all day. For more information about this couple, visit sagracooking.com and keep an eye out for the first episode of A Couple of Chefs.
Me on a Saturday night, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Director's Cut. I'm your host, Michael Rieger. If you're just joining us, this is the last Director's Cut of the season, and rightly so. It's a one-hour edition showcasing films from both the HFC Film Festival and the School of Communications Film Festival. We know all this. Our final director of the evening is Zach Graber of Video, Television, and Film, BS. He brings with him his School of Com film entry, The Great Santa Hat Adventure. Let's take a look.
It was midnight, and that minute was time. It had only been 10 minutes, which is less than the usual time it takes to peak, but oh, you could tell. He was changing.
Mr. Graber,
Yes.
is there a one word in the English language that could describe your film?
I do not know it in English per se, but I've heard it been told, whispered even in my dreams by a dragon.
What did that dragon say?
It's kind of hard to say because I don't have dragon voice, but I believe it was along the lines of Nirvana.
This was a heck of a film to act in. Even though I had no dialogue in the film, it was a challenge for me. Was it a challenge as a director to create this?
Oh, actually, no. I've been. I mean, like, it's always a challenge to make a film. It's definitely a labor of love. There's a lot of hard work and a lot of stresses you have to deal with, and it's definitely one of those things where it's more retrospective in how you enjoy the experience. You know, while you're on set, you're stressed out, and you can't really enjoy it as much as when later you're like, oh, remember when that happened? That was funny. Now that it's 3 months after and the wounds have healed.
And there were wounds. there were a few wounds.
I really have to give it up to my crew and my cast, because they really what came my vision possible. I just sort of did what came from my mind, and that's really what made it easy for me.
Okay, so coming into the festival, do you recommend seeing this in a drug-induced state?
No. I do not recommend seeing this in a drug-induced state, because if I can convince you that you already are in a drug-induced state just from watching it, then I probably succeeded.
That is fantastic. Anything else you want to add?
If you guys like movies, you should come to the film fest and you should watch this movie, as well to see this wonderful host of performance or just some good old-fashioned entertainment. It's a great time.
Thank you very much, Zach. I can't wait to be in the audience on this
Me
one.
too.
Mm-hmm. Well, everybody, that wraps up the end of Director's Cut. I'd like to thank all the directors for showing us clips of their films, so be sure to catch the HFC Film Fest on Saturday, May 9th, and the School of Communication Film Festival on May 15th and May 16th. A big thanks to tonight's show director, Mike Alakakos, as well as producers Stephen D'Ambrosio and Victoria Podesta. In addition, we'd like to thank our associate producers, Grace Lancaster and Andrew Resin. The producers would also like to congratulate all the seniors graduating in a few weeks. The associate producers would also like to congratulate tonight's show producers and myself.
Yeah, Rieger.
I'd also like to add that this is my last performance as a Hofstra TV show host. I hope I've been a little bit more pleasurable to look at than Hofstra Channel 34 color bars. From all of us here in Studio A, I'm Michael Rieger. Good night, everyone.